So I'm going to just go through a presentation with you. It won't be long. It's, 5-10 minutes, just, an overview of TAU and studied in Israel and what you can expect before we'll then go into the program specific details. So let me just share my screen. Okay. Can you all see okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I can't get that to go. Bear with me. Okay, I can't get it to go. Okay. So welcome to TAU. Welcome to our webinar. We're delighted to have you here with us. Just an overview of TAU. We are the #1 choice for Israeli students and the largest, most comprehensive institute here in Israel. We have about 30,000 total students every year, and of that, 2,000 of them are international. So when you come to TAU, you get the best of both worlds. You get to mix with other international students. Plus, you also get to meet Israeli students as well. You get a taste of Israeli culture also. We are the largest institute of higher education in Israel. We have 125 schools and departments, 9 faculties. Each of them has their own building and libraries. We have over 100 countries represented. I don't want to sound too boastful, but we're one of the top 100 innovation universities in the world, and also one of the top 10 schools for producing VC-backed founders. So it's a very diverse campus here at TAU. If you come to us, you'll join a very illustrious alumni. I won't go into details of everyone, but there's a couple here I want to mention. Yotam Ottolenghi. If you're in the UK, you maybe know of his restaurants. I think he's more well known in the UK than in Israel. A chef, an author, and a couple of restaurants there. Dr. Danny Gold, who gave us the Iron Dome, that incredible piece of technology that keeps us all safe here in Israel. Uri Levine, who has a BA in economics from TAU, who founded Waze that I think literally everyone uses to get anywhere, and that was sold to Google for some astronomical sum back in 2013. So you are joining a worldwide community of people that are movers and shakers in all different aspects of life, whether it's business, politics, TV and movies as well. We've got industry connections here. We have the Entrepreneurship Centre that's staffed by professionals from the industry. We have the annual Cyber Week and Artificial Intelligence Week that have been held virtually the past year, but normally they're held on campus, and we have in excess of 10,000 guests from over 80 countries on campus throughout the entire week. And it's great because the campus here in Tel Aviv is very big and we have lots of green space and there's always something going on. And when Cyber Week and AI Week are happening, it is like, it's amazing. There's people everywhere and people doing things, showing off things. It's wonderful. Student Life team, if there's one thing I want you to take away from my presentation, it's this. These are we call them madrachim, which in Hebrew is madrich, or madrachim means guide. So it's a student guide and counselor, and they are here to, you don't just come to a foreign country and a foreign university and you're on your own. You come into our sort of bosom, if you like. And the Student Life team are here to do everything from you. From the moment you arrive, they organize your arrival, your orientation. They are all Israeli and they're all studying their own Hebrew degrees. They're all post-military service. They're all bilingual or trilingual in some cases. They all live in the campus with you, and they're always available 24/7. There's always somebody in the office here. and they help with everything, housing issues, medical issues, any kind of issues you have. They're also really great at social events and excursions throughout Israel. When we're students that came to us that had to do quarantine, they were really amazing. And every day they took them food. They did Zoom sessions, exercises, dance class, Eurovision sing songs. They did all of that with all of the students who were on quarantine, just to keep them active and busy. So they really are they're amazing. I think if there's anything, like I said, that I want that you could take away from this, is definitely the student life team. And they take you away as well on excursions. Normally they take you up to the north, to the south, to Jerusalem, overnight events. They take you on tours in Tel Aviv, graffiti tours, museum tours. They do lots of social events, pizza nights, you name it, they do it. So you don't just come here and study on your own, you really do join this big family of community here, which is very important. Accommodation, we have, if you're interested, we do have on-campus dorms. We have, you can see the pictures here are from our Broshim dorms, which are literally, they're just adjacent to campus. They're about a 10-minute walk from us. And they're new build. And the prices from them, I think, are from $800 per month. We don't offer meal plans, but also each of the dorms, they're in studio apartments, up to 2-room apartments. They all have kitchens, so you can all cook, your own meals. And fresh food and vegetables in Israel is, very competitively priced. If you're coming from the UK, for sure. And the food here is amazing. There's a couple of nice supermarkets right next to the dorms as well. And they include all bills like water, council tax, and Wi-Fi as well. So it's kind of all inclusive. Or you can choose to stay, if you want to rent your own place, by all means you can. The student life team also can suggest a couple of places for you to look into if you want to live on your own, like Victor's doing in Tel Aviv. Just to end, to say that, like I said, you'll join a community here of international students from all over the world. It's not just graduate degree programs. We also offer study abroad programs, and that's for undergraduates who are already in a graduate degree program to come to us for a semester or a year. We also have short-term programs. We do a lot of summer programs. We've just launched 2 new online programs, and we're launching another one very soon. We offer 3 bachelor's undergraduate programs and 20 plus doctoral programs. So there really is, there's a never-ending list of academic options for you here at TAU. So thank you. I hope that gave you a nice sort of overview of TAU and what you can expect to come here. Not on the academic side, but on the student life side and experience in Tel Aviv University. Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But you told me a few days ago you have some information about scholarship.
I do, yes.
Yeah, yes, it's very interesting for it.
Sure, I'll tell everyone now. There is, and I can put a link in the chat. There is it's called MFA, and not to be confused with the program. It's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let me put the link in the chat. They have, it's not a new scholarship, but they haven't run it for a couple of years. And it just came back a couple of weeks ago. And I think it's quite good. It's up to about 50% or $5,000. It's not insignificant. The only thing is the deadline for applications is the 19th of March, which is this Friday. Yeah. But I believe you don't need to be accepted into the program to apply. I think if you read the instructions, I think if you just send off your application with some kind of letter or from TAU that you've applied or in the process of applying, they'll consider it. Okay. Yeah. So
there's anyone on the waiting room, or we no?
There's nobody in the waiting room. No, I've kept it open. Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. I already spoke with Tali, a few weeks ago. So I will speak very briefly about the program because I think all the information you can read on the website, and it will be much more helpful, I think, to try to answer your questions. So the program is a new one. This is the second year actually. It's 4 semester, but you actually need to be 3 semester in the university, and the last one you can go back to England or Brazil and doing the last one from home, because the last semester is only about working about the final project. We're doing the first semester in a row, so we have the summer semester. The third one is the summer semester. We start next October. We study 2 days a week, Sunday, Monday. And it's very small program. It's 22 students. We try to combine theory with actually practicing all the elements of documentary cinema. The first semester is dedicated to, the main theme is direct cinema. This is the directing workshop, and then we have research that next to it will be in the second semester. We have ethnographic cinema, photography 1, and theory. This will be the seminar theory, and every 2 weeks, next year it will be every week. You had the chance to meet one of the leading Israeli filmmaker, watch your film, speak with the filmmaker, and try to raise many questions that this specific film or this specific artist is working on. The second, between the first and the second semester, this is the plan. This year, everything has been changed because of the corona, but I hope next year it will be like we planned in advance. You have, we're gonna bring some artists from outside of Israel, one filmmaker, to have like a master class between the 2 semesters, 5 days. And then the second semester, the directing class, the focus will be about interview, about testimony and archive. If the first semester we're dealing with story that's happened here and now. So the second one is about stories that happened in the past, how we deal with that in documentary cinema. We have the second workshop about photography, and the first one about editing, script, another workshops, how to deal with script in documentary cinema. And the theory class will dedicate it to ethics in documentary cinema. And then in the summer, the third directing workshop will deal with space, cinema, and film that's dealing with space, with location. It's not one protagonist that's leading the film. It's also the space and the location. It's in the center of the film. We have the second editing workshop. We have sound design workshop, how to go from script to production, and another theory seminar about trauma in the Israeli cinema. And then the last one, as I told you, it's only working with mentors about the final project, and students need to write an essay about the final project. So there's one professor that actually help you to deal with this challenge in a way. We have all the facility in the university, great camera, editing room, but people and students, if they like to work on other program, other software, it's fine with us, of course. We also doing some kind of editorial about the camera, about the Aviv software that's give you the first step into this technological challenge that some of the people have this phobia from technology. So we help to cross this phobia in a way. But we are not teaching a technician. We are really, everything is from the eye of the director, from the eye of the filmmaker, and not from the eye of the cameraman or the editor. I think this is more or less the program, and it's really important for us that you're going to have in the end a film, half an hour or more, but we were really recommended to do a short one in this program. And this is, that's why we want you in advance to give us some one page about your proposal for final project. You can change your mind, of course, you can do a totally different film, and it's quite normal to change and develop. But I think it will be huge step for you guys if you have, after 2 years or 3 years, because it takes sometimes long time to work on the final project, you're going to have half an hour great film. So it will definitely take you to your next step in your filmmaking career. The school, the Tel Aviv Tish, we call Tish Film School in Tel Aviv University. It's very well known. It's existed more than 40 years, or almost 50 years. Many of the Israeli directors graduate from this school, so it have a lot of history, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of things going on in the school, not just only in the program. The program is, because it's the only one in English, it's like a bubble. You cannot choose to take some classes outside of the program. But if there is interesting stuff in the faculty, you definitely can join. There is some projects, cinematic project, there is film festival, student film festival, and many other events in the faculty and in the school. So I'm willing to take some question, or if Victor, do you want to mention something about your experience, because you've been in this window 6 months ago or 8 months ago?
I also rather take questions from people, but I can share a few words. I guess I arrived, right before the program. Due to Corona, everything was very rushed and intense. But what I can say is that my experience with the program has been really great. I absolutely love our teachers. They're very high quality, and an advice that I can give you is take the most of what you can from the teachers. They're open people. They are very available and very knowledgeable. You'll see that. More than that, you also have access to great university equipment, which I urge you to make use of it. Don't be scared of cameras and the equipment, because it can be an ally to you for your independence, but also to collaborate with other people, which is, I guess, the thing that they urge us the most to do, to collaborate, because cinema, it is something that is very collaborative. And also you have amazing libraries, so make use of that as well. I guess 2 days a week is a good time, because you have a lot of exercises to practice, to make, and to prepare in advance, which is good. Also having some demand in the theoretical part, a lot of stuff to read. It is very well balanced, in my opinion. I guess each one has their challenges, of course. I'm guessing that you're going to arrive in a time, if you end up joining, where most of the classes will be at campus. So great. Enjoy the campus. Is a great one. Great time to be there and enjoy the space, and you have so many people. Now the university is starting to open up again, so you're starting to flourish, which is amazing. I guess the next program will enjoy it even more. So prepare yourselves is really nice. And yes, I am open. So feel free to ask anything you want.
So regarding the Corona, we try to do as less as we can to do online. We don't believe in online, study online cinema and study arts online. So we did everything we can to meet a student. During the lockdown, we had to do, 100% Zoom, but when they started to open it a little bit, we rent some space outside of the university, and we've been able to work hybrid. Some students at class, some students stay at home, and then next week we change and switch between the students. So we fight as much as we can to meet the student and work face to face. It was very, very important for us, and I think the student respect our effort, because it's very easy to go online. I guess most of the university all over went totally 100% online, but we insist to do it differently. We don't know what will happen next year. I don't want to. We cannot ensure anything. Right now, the situation in Israel is quite good, but it could be a different type of the virus in few months, and nobody knows.
I can just say as well, I think quite a few of our programs, one of the benefits we have is of having a big campus is we have lots of spaces outside. And also here in our TAU International, we have a big terrace, and quite a few programs have actually come and done hybrid classes in person on our terrace outside with a Zoom call at the same time to people who weren't able to come to class as well. So we don't know what the future will be, but I think, with all the green space that we have here in the outside space, people have utilized that. And I think, if anything, whatever happens in the future, we have that as an option for us as well.
Yeah, we have some experience already, and we developed some method how to work with the corona. It was challenging, but cinema is challenging, a lot of obstacles. So this is another one. So we're willing to hear you guys, Tali, Yael, the guy with the black square. Yeah. If you are still there, you're welcome to open the camera.
Yeah, I was here all the time. No issue with that. Sorry.
Hi, Kuldeep. You asked a question in the registration form, Kuldeep, as well.
Yeah, actually, the registration was like last month, and I forgot. Maybe sorry for that.
The question Kuldeep asked was, he has no experience in this field. Will it be okay to join, or should he take some field experience first?
Yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah, I think part of what we were asking the student to send us some example from previous cinematic works. It's really important for us to see your experience, because we don't want to start from zero. We don't want to start from scratch. So it's possible, but it's more difficult to go in without any knowledge about filming, editing, some experience of cinema in general, or documentary cinema. But if you have experience in photography, in arts, any kind of art, it's also helpful for me to understand what's going on in your mind, So the cinematic samples and the project proposal for final project, it's really important to understand how much we think you fit into this program.
Okay. I think for the cinematic thing, I don't have any experience because I belong to the technical background, like software engineering, like everyone in India is like that. So I was searching for other domains, what I can do with my life, and having some time doing some artistic work like that. So that's why I was searching for something. So this was my basic question about it, how I can grow if I do not have any experience in this field. So that's why I joined this webinar.
Yeah, you can try to convince us, because some of the great directors didn't come from film school, they come from other area, and sometimes they are much more interesting for the people that grew up in the cinema factories, So it's up to you. You need to convince us that you have a great story in the way and great frames or point of view to speak about reality, and we will be very happy to welcome you. But send us something.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I'll
there's
try.
no possibility for us to understand
Okay.
where you came from and where you want to go.
Okay. Yeah, my point was that you are like renowned director. I think yes, I checked your profile and the IMDb also. What the program is in the TAU, and I belong in the Indian cinema like Bollywood or something. So Bollywood does not is having a typical kind of cinematic view, and this our program is like altogether is different. And most of this what we can say video or I will say this history is not touched by any Indian cinema, what we can say in the documentaries form, like what we have seen in the Western world. They touch more of history as and the topics, and India Bollywood does not touch that, which is like untouched. So that's why I was thinking about it.
Okay, I saw great cinema from India, of course. It's huge culture and
Yes.
very impressive cinema industry. So for us, the Indian culture, it's amazing, you know. So
Yeah.
and the Indian cinema as well.
Yeah, it's having a different niche, Indian cinema, because we like this dancing, and majorly it's 80% entertainment format. Like you just go and sit and like
It's
enjoy
everywhere.
this.
It's 95% entertainment. So we belong to the 5% that's not entertainment.
Yeah, so you like 500 boorish people, like you would go into that, and so you need to run ahead when you are watching the content. So maybe because I belong to the warrior clans of India, like Rajasthan place and all. So most of the warriors and the history people, they are not even touched. Even in the books, there is nowhere that those content would be seen in the textbooks also, in the school and all. Also, the cinema does not cover it because there is no monetary benefits coming out of the people, because people are also not interested in that. So that is, I think, something is lagging. Some touch there is lagging, that we need to view and present them with a like nice content and the storyline. So maybe there they can, like, people would really be interested in watching. Some percent, not everyone, some percent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Yael, Tani.
I have two questions. Thank you for giving the intro. It was super helpful to kind of understand.
Can you speak louder, please? It's difficult to hear.
My computer broke over. Is this better?
It's a bit better, but it's...
Okay, hold on. Okay. Is this any better?
A little bit, yeah.
A bit? Okay, sorry. I'm going to hold my computer up. Maybe this will help. So I have two questions. The first one is, coming up with the idea and the whole kind of concept of a documentary and starting working on it and making it and completing it is one side. But then the other side is obviously, how do you either raise the money to get it done if you don't have the budget to do it, depending again on the story, and also the distribution side of it. Is that something that's part of the course as well?
In the third semester, we have production workshops, so we deal with the options. But it's one of the key questions of cinema, to raise the money to make your dream come alive. So, but that's why I believe student films need to be small. You need to be smart and going to a story that you can do in small amount, and not in not like 5 or 7 years to spend 5 years raising the money. This is not what we want you to do here. So you need to develop a script or an idea that you can produce in the program. Otherwise, it could take you years. And maybe you can do a part of your big ideas in the program, and this part could be like a pilot or kind of like example, you know, to make it bigger after you graduate from our program. We give some amount of money. We can support the films, but it's not a lot of money. So you get all the equipment, you know, it was a lot of money. You got some help from the school, but it's depend of the project. It's really depend on the project.
So would you say, can you hear me now? Is this clear?
What?
Can you, oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so is fine. So the course is basically the whole, let's say the first 3 terms are to get you to the 4th one to prepare the documentary, the project we sent you.
Yeah, but it depends how much you know what you want to do in the end of the program. Because
Okay.
if you know in advance, you can use the research workshop to work on your project. You can do tests in the cinematography workshop to, you know, to make some test about what you want to do, etc. So it's not this kind of program that take your idea from one step to the end. We are university. It's very important for us that you can be able to see a lot of opportunity and a lot of option how to work with the documentary cinema. It's not just developing a program. You know, there's a lot of this kind of program all over. So we want you to experience in different language of cinema to be much more educated filmmaker, and in the same time thinking and develop your one. So if you come prepared with the project, you can use some of the workshop to develop your ideas. But if your story, let's say it's going to be like direct cinema, but it's important for us that you take also the archive and testimony workshop, because
Yeah, of course.
it will be make your skills and craft much more better for the future.
Okay, thank you.
And the second questions?
That was it. I kind of combined them into one. So
Okay.
that was clear. Thank you.
Tali, any question?
Not that I can think of at the moment, but just sort of thinking about making the project. And obviously, as you said, you don't have to, it's like online for the last semester. So you don't have to be in Israel. So now I'm thinking, yeah, obviously like the idea might change because of where I guess, oh.
Yeah, you can go back to England or Ireland if you wish, because it's a very challenging to shoot in a society that you don't understand the language.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. There's a great filmmaker that's, you know, did a lot of great stuff, observing culture that they don't know. There's also some benefits that you have a fresh point of view about the society, about the situation. But there is some gaps that you need to cross if you don't understand the language.
Yeah.
But it's possible. It's up to you. Where is your passion and what kind of question you want to raise in your film, actually.
Yeah. It was just like making me think, because I have these plans. There's no date for it yet, but just for after Israel, I think I'm moving to like New Zealand. So then I was like, oh well, if I moved before the end of the course during the last semester, then that would kind of change the context of what I would make, I guess. So sorry, now I'm just...
Okay, so you have plans for New Zealand? Oh,
yeah. But I guess it depends like when I would go, because I guess in theory I could go. But well, how does the teaching bit work for the last semester then? Do you just have like calls?
What?
Like during the last like semester, during the last term, how's the like what format is the...
It's one-on-one. You losing me or are you losing you? What's happening with the internet here?
Yeah, you just kind of froze for a second there, Ran, but you came back.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's great, yeah. So we have one-on-one meeting in the last semester. And this semester, it's in the program, in the schedule, it's one semester, but sometimes, most of the time, it takes like half a year, maybe 1 year to make a film. So we are here for you until the end of the film. Any question to Victor? He spent time with us. Yeah.
I had a question actually for you, Victor. I wanted to ask, it's admirable for a student to come all the way from Brazil to Israel last year when COVID was in its throes. And I just wanted to ask, how was your arrival into Israel? Did you come in the dorms? Did you do quarantine with us? Or did you did it with us?
No.
No, okay.
No, because I actually did do the process of Aliyah.
Okay. So you live here, okay.
Yeah. I would have done naturally the process with Tel Aviv University. But I came and I thought of finding an apartment. I thought of staying at the dorms for a while to settle myself in, but I decided that it was more productive and was more enriching for me personally to be in the city, because you are stimulated from the beginning of the program to find your curiosities, find your stories, be very open and listen to your surroundings. So I came to Shapira, South Tel Aviv, which is an amazing,
very creative, the whole South Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So for me, my process of adaptation is mostly regarding the language, because I do not speak Hebrew. But it's interesting if you find collaborators, especially other students that can help you with that and help you with the process of, creating a dialogue, right? A lot of the bigger part of documentary sometimes is creating relationship, creating dialogue with people, talking and listening. So yeah.
You told me the first month, the first two months that you just arrived, it was quite overwhelming for you,
Yeah.
So maybe it's better to come earlier, than 2 weeks before the beginning.
Look, yes. If I can be honest, yes. Like Ron saying, it is a lot of things to do, especially if you also have to work and have other responsibilities. It's always better to come a bit before to have some time, because you have a lot of things to do. The university is demanding, is an intense rhythm, even though it's 2 days a week, which also gives you time to work and prepare your exercises, but it can be a lot. So think about it, if it's possible, so you find your rhythm here. The city has a rhythm, Israel has a rhythm, and I don't know how Corona is going to be when you come, if you come, but it always takes some time to adapt. In my case, it takes some time to adapt. You still have bonds and things going on in your country. You have to. The process is takes time sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's very challenging time, especially in Brazil. The economic situation and the political situation is very difficult. So I hope for you guys in England, it will be much easier. And if you come from India, it's also, I guess, very challenging time to go abroad. But it's sometimes it's the best time to go abroad. To be able to experience global crisis in another place beside home. Yeah.
And Israel
what?
I was just going to say, actually, I think Caroline, was she from the year before that worked with in the webinar last year? She's also from Brazil.
Yeah, she's now in Brazil. She developed her final project in Brazil.
That's right, by the favelas, I remember.
Yeah. She just
She was
sent me.
also, when I met with her, she came to do a filming with us in August. And she actually said she was doing something, I think, at the Haifa Film Festival, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think she spoke Hebrew either, so I think she somehow managed to connect to somebody at the Haifa Film Festival. So I just want to say, because I know you said, Victor, you don't speak Hebrew, and my Hebrew is not amazing either. But you just latch onto Israelis, and I married an Israeli, and they'll help you, you know.
And you study some Hebrew. It helps more than
it
you can
does.
imagine.
Yeah, I think you get the basics down. We do Alpan here as well. You know, you could always come earlier and do a summer Alpan session as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Many people do speak English here quite well. There are many interesting people. You're going to find interesting stories with people accessible in English too. In other languages.
In Tel Aviv, for sure.
I think Tali been here many times, no? And maybe Yael as well. Yeah, so they're familiar. Yeah, I can see the names and I can understand the relationship. Yeah.
So you know the culture and the rhythm of Tel Aviv and Israel.
Sure.
Yes.
I speak Hebrew as well, so that's good to be helpful.
Great.
My Hebrew is not great. I mean, it should be better than it is, but I lived in like Florentine and Tel Aviv for like 6 months before, which was really fun. Yeah, but I will improve my Hebrew. I just had a question about how much, like, to Victor, how much time did you feel you had to like go on, like, to do like non-uni stuff, like to sort of like go on trips or to do things like just during the week? Like, how much demand was the work?
Good question. I think that it depends on your will and the kinds of stories that you find. There are people who like to, you know, have several meetings with the same character and read everything and prepare. Like, it's about you finding your rhythm. I can tell you that many exercise demands some time to prepare. There are a lot of like theoretical demands that, like, reading articles every week, which I find it very important to do, and sometimes prepare presentations sometimes. And I think that many of the students, maybe most of them, do get to conciliate. Do you say conciliate? To manage, to balance work and studies, like a lot of them. Some take part-time jobs, some are freelance workers, like myself. And I think you can find your rhythm. I for sure can tell you that it's manageable. It's not something that you need to be scared of. But I mean, at least this first semester can be intense, especially because you're still trying to find your cinematic language, you know, and it's not something that's going to come one day to the other. You know, now I know how to film, how I want my films to look like, you know, so take some time. And maybe the first steps do require more of you, like to give yourself, you know, feel what you're looking for, you know, takes time. But it's definitely manageable to work and even study Hebrew, study language, whatever. That's my personal opinion.
It takes time.
Yeah.
Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Yeah. And it's, you know, cinema, like art, it's a way of living. It's a way of living. It's a way of experience life. So think about it. More questions? Yael, are you good?
Yeah, that's very insightful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So we have we have from you everything, right? Yeah, you sent us everything. And you already paid the registration fee, and Tali, you as well. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready for the next step with you too. David, anything else?
I think I've covered everything. I was just going to say, I can pop my email in the chat. So if anybody has any specific questions they want to reach out about housing or the Hebrew Alpan or the student life team, by all means, you can reach out to me. So I've popped that there.
I would like to add just one thing, that to reinforce something that Hans said already. The more instrumental the workshops can be for you and your projects, the better. Like, of course, you will be learning for the first time a lot of things, and they will seem like many universes in themselves, right? But the more you can apply to the way you work and to your personal vision and to the stories that you want to tell, like, the faster you acknowledge that you can use all this knowledge quickly and like very applicably, I think it's the better, you know. So always coming with this in mind, the final project, or like projects, different ones that you can use the subjects right away, you know, because they are very interesting and very useful. Just
Thank you, Vector. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to say as well, I am recording this webinar. I should have mentioned at the beginning. And I hope everyone's okay. What we normally do is, we had 17 people register for this, so I'd like to send in the recording of this webinar so they can watch it at their own leisure. If you guys are all okay with that. Cool.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Amazing.
Also, I just have a question. When do you think, like, is there a deadline when we'd find out if we allowed to?
I think after the, you know, will be holiday, Passover here in 2 weeks, I think. After this holiday, we'll have an interview and then we can make quick decisions. So I think in April, if you have all the documents and the university approve your degree, you already finished your BA, right?
So I'm finishing my uni. I just have like a few exams and my dis to hand in like a few weeks, but then I'm done by
so okay, so I think in a few weeks we can have this interview and then we can gather together and make a decision. But it's important for us that the university approve your documents, because we are responsible for the creative side, but the university is responsible that they are, know the university and your grades and everything. They need to approve that. That's why it's very important to upload all this official document. Otherwise, we cannot discuss it.
Wait, so if I don't get the final, because I won't get my diploma,
then maybe we can accept you, but in Alumni, they will have
on condition
that you can deliver the diploma until, I don't know, August or July, or it will be your responsibility to bring the evidence that you actually have BA.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
Yeah. So you need to consider that it's actually can happen in this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You can graduate. Yeah.
Yeah, they just
need to graduate.
Yeah, I'll graduate very soon.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention as well, the other source of scholarship we should look into is MFA, because MFA do quite good scholarship options for students coming to study at least for 8 months. So for a master's degree, it's definitely something we should look into, is MFA.
Do they just, MFA, like if you get it, if you've had it before, you can't get it again, right? They just
I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I think so. Okay. I think it's a one-time thing.
There is a scholarship that helps students who live in the south of Tel Aviv as well, just so you know.
Oh, really? Who's that by?
I can find the info better.
Okay.
Because I may apply soon, but I know that they help. They help Talia, which is another fellow student of ours.
That's interesting.
Which is Israeli even, but it's for everyone. So if anyone's interested, I can find the info and send.
Thank you. And also, if anyone is interested in coming to do a Hebrew summer Alpan before the program, we do offer a summer Alpan and we do offer a summer scholarship as well, which is quite a good offer.
Okay, guys. So
Cool.
thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tali. Thank you, Yael. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much.
much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us as well.
Thank
It was
you.
really great to
course.
have you. in
Any
Chaldean.
question, you can email me as well. You
Yeah.
have my email, so you
Or
can
talk to me if you want to. Any question.
Thank
Bye,
you so
guys.
much. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks.
Take care.